differences in business culture.
Yeah.
Thai is much more about the relationship.
If you are too direct to people,
Yeah.
maybe people find it offensive.
This is, say the word again?
เกรงใจ
Grain Jai.
Yes.
Interesting. So I think there is still this stereotype of Thailand and Bangkok being this kind of party place. But actually, I think there's a very strong, serious undercurrent in this city and in this country of professional, exceptional entrepreneurs. I don't know if you saw, there was a woman in China who did something like 9 million revenue in a week. Did you see the video? And she was incredibly efficient.
Yes.
Like, she was picking things up, talking about throwing it away.
Yes,
and she was
correct.
just
I've seen that video.
You're listening to Bangkok Post's Mind the Gap podcast. Let's connect, converse, and create possibilities.
สวัสดีครับ I'm Siwat, Vilassakdanont, Managing Director of AnyMind Group, focusing on Thailand and Philippines. It's a very nice for me to be here. I'm very excited for my first podcast ever.
Hi, my name is Alex Bentley. I'm a content creator and have been for the past 3 years based in Thailand and other parts of Asia. I create content on lifestyle, travel, and business. I'm also very excited to be here. So, can you start by introducing yourself, AnyMind business, and what your role is there and what you're working on right now?
Sure. Let me take you guys back a little bit about my background. So I spent my first 15 years in Thailand. So I went to Assumption until 6th grade. And then from 6th to 9th grade, I was at the international school called Rumrudi.
What was the, before that you said?
Assumption.
This means?
Assumption is like a Christian all-boys school.
Oh, okay.
It's a very well-known Thai school.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes. So I went to Rumrudi or IS, and then I went to study high school in America.
Wow.
After high school, I did my undergrad at Northwestern University in Chicago.
Wow.
And studied economics and international business. And afterwards, I got a job with a financial institution, Merrill Lynch. So I worked there for about 3 years, did consulting, financial consulting for another year. And then I went to do my MBA in the UK.
Wow.
So I spent like a year in Oxford before I came back to Thailand.
Amazing. Wow. So I think we share a similar background. So we have this finance.
Yep.
My background is more accountancy.
Okay.
So I worked with PricewaterhouseCoopers for around... Actually, I started in law and then went into finance.
Okay.
And did corporate finance, mergers and acquisitions for around 8-9 years, something like this.
Law and finance, very like...
Boring.
very strong background, actually.
Yeah. I realized quite quickly when I studied law that I was more interested in the finance side.
Right.
And that came more naturally to me.
You want to make money, right?
That. Yeah, that makes more sense. So before we talk about our similarities in terms of like finance background and how we've both gone down a similar path, I guess, on the marketing side.
Okay.
How did you find the culture clash going from Thailand to both the States and the UK? Because you've now got this comparison of all different kinds of...
Yeah. I mean, literally, when I arrived in the States, even though I went to a international school, my English was still not very good. But I was the only Thai student there. So I had to survive. So I picked up English very quickly. And then, you know, when you're in your high school and you're away from home, of course you get homesick. But, you know, you kind of have to survive, basically. So, you know, from kind of a troublemaker in back home, I literally changed overnight and really like focus on my studies and getting good grades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you went into the real world, working for somebody like a Merrill Lynch, did you notice any particular differences in business culture between Thailand, Asia, and how we do business in the States and Europe?
I can compare US, UK, and Thai. And I actually have had experience managing teams in pretty much every country in Southeast Asia. But the state is, I think Americans very direct. time is very important, so they just go straight to the
Yeah,
point,
right.
and then less going
Yes.
around the issues.
Yes.
Whereas UK, I believe UK is very like gentleman polite.
Yes.
There is a kind of a maybe it doesn't get straight to the point yet, but then
Right.
find a nice way to say things.
Yes.
But where Thai, I would say maybe a bit more similar to the UK.
I would say so.
Because there's the word in Thai เกรงใจ so sometimes if you are too direct to people
Yeah.
like maybe people find it offensive.
This is, say the word again?
เกรงใจ
Grain Jai.
yes
Interesting.
Yes.
I've definitely noticed this because I also think UK compared to Thai,
Yeah.
Thai is much more about the relationship, nurturing the relationship. I think, for instance, in-person meetings are a lot more important here than
Yes.
maybe in the UK, at least on my experience comparing business cultures.
yes
And taking the time to nurture the relationship, understand the person before talking specific business
about
things.
business exactly.
Yes.
Nowadays I find China kind of talk business,
Yeah.
and then the fine dining and the drinking comes in the evening.
Oh, okay. Where do you see there being some differences in the West versus here? One of those ways, for me, from my perspective, is payment systems. QR code payments in Thailand are
Yes,
huge.
yes.
In China, face recognition payments,
Yep.
very common.
Yep.
I think Asia is very advanced in this space.
Yep.
We're lagging behind in the West. Do you see and do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you see any other areas like this where there's differences?
Well, I just came back from a business trip in China last night.
Yeah.
So they have their own ecosystem there. If you bring your credit card and you hope everything works, it doesn't work.
Right.
You have to make sure that your credit card is linked to either Alipay or WeChat Pay, even social media, right?
Right.
You know, Facebook, Google,
Yeah.
it's not allowed.
Yeah, right.
So they have their own, you have Douyin, they have Xiaolhongshu, Taobao, so they have their own marketplaces.
Yeah.
Very, very different.
Yeah. I went recently for the first time to China.
Yeah.
My assessment was it's very difficult to get into China, and then as a British person, like it's difficult to get in. Then once you're in, it's difficult to find your feet on all the different platforms. But once you have, it's so seamless.
Yes.
Everything's all so connected.
Yes.
And I think this is another difference between maybe the West and here,
Yep.
is that we have super apps here,
Yeah.
which do everything.
Yes.
We don't really have that in the West.
Oh.
Maybe there's an ethical component, which is another discussion. But I think this is fascinating about the differences between the two. You mentioned a few different platforms. So you mentioned TikTok, for instance,
Right.
which there's been a lot of hype and noise around TikTok recently and over the past few years.
Yep.
How are some of the brands that you're working with leveraging social media now to generate revenue?
I think TikTok has been very hot, you know, in the past couple of years. Even brands now are conscious around the next generation of spender, which is Gen Z, who are the majority of the audience on TikTok.
Yeah.
There's plenty of so brands are not ignoring anymore, but they are more embracing that social media.
Yeah.
And we've got clients who are already big on Shopee, Lazada, or Facebook,
Yeah.
and now they're like, hey, we can't ignore TikTok.
Okay.
Our consumers, our Gen Zs are there.
Yeah.
We gotta be there,
Yeah.
right? And then we gotta create content that are relevant
Yes.
to the audience. We gotta have products with the right pricing and promotion for those audience. So it's been quite hot, and there's a lot of interest around that platform at the moment.
And are you using TikTok as a mechanism to just generate eyeballs to send to other platforms, or are you actually using, for instance, TikTok Shop, like all natively within TikTok?
Our approach at AnyMind is TikTok is a very close-ended platform.
Yeah.
So meaning they want not just awareness or engagement on the platform, they want conversion. So
Right.
conversion happens on TikTok Shop. So the approach that we advise brand is to keep it within the platform.
Okay. And do you see like any particular industries, product types lending themselves more to any given platform? So for instance, it maybe historically TikTok was seen as a platform to sell lower price point products. I think that might be changing a bit now, but Do you have that kind of strategy as well? Do you think some products are better aligned to different platforms?
It still is.
Okay.
It's gonna be hard if you want to buy like a house or buy like a car
Yeah.
on TikTok, but it's happening in China.
Really?
Like Douyin or Red, they're selling like real estate or
Wow.
a car, motorcycle. So I think it's a matter of time when a Thai person can buy a car on TikTok.
That's crazy.
I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say, but like we have some brands that we are working with.
Yeah.
We're trying to think of something outside the box as well.
Yeah.
So maybe bigger item. We sell washing machine. We sell television. We sell home appliances. Even furniture.
Wow.
On TikTok.
When you do sell those higher price point items,
Yep.
TikTok is normally kind of fast conversion.
Yep.
But do these higher ticket price items, do they require a lot of kind of build
So
up?
the strategy can be like real estate or car. You can buy the coupon or a voucher, a discount towards your purchase. You don't have to actually buy the actual car, but you can buy a voucher
Wow,
towards bigger item, right?
Right.
But having said that, the way you create content to match the item, it has to be very thought out. I think Thai consumer on TikTok
Yeah.
is still very like price sensitive.
Right.
If we look at platform like YouTube,
Yeah.
where it's a bit more educational,
Yeah.
right? People
Yeah.
would research, so people treat I think YouTube as like a video Google.
Yeah.
Right? People
Yeah.
would do a lot. There's a lot of long form content, 10-minute plus, and then YouTube now have the kind of affiliate link.
Yeah.
You can purchase a product.
Right.
If you purchase a product, the content creator also gets a commission.
Right. Right.
So I think the trend nowadays is towards conversion.
Right.
So yeah.
I also think on platforms like YouTube, there is maybe a deeper connection with the audience and the creator. I think the creator maybe has more brand equity, personal brand equity,
Right.
which lends a lot of trust to the audience, so they're more willing to pay for higher ticket price items.
Yes.
Versus TikTok, where right now everything's very quick, everything's very transactional, and follow account means less on TikTok.
Yeah.
People who've come into the space last week can get a video with a million views, right?
Right.
That's not the case on YouTube. But this is great for you guys because now this is how you can consult with brands, because there's so much nuance, there's so much different strategy you can take. It's not just a case of creating some random content and posting it out there.
Alex, tell me a bit about your channel.
Sure,
Which
yeah.
platform are you on, and what type of content do you create?
Mostly I'm focused on short form.
Okay.
So I focus on Instagram is my main focus. Yeah. I do want to grow the YouTube a little bit more. I'm more comfortable with short form. So Instagram, TikTok, and I'm now discovering like some of the Chinese short form ones like the Red Notes.
Short form meaning 15 to 30 second video?
30
or?
seconds to 90, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And I create content mostly around travel, business,
Okay.
lifestyle. My main thing is I lived in the UK all my life up until the age of 30 and moved to Thailand sort of accidentally 3 years ago. And it's been fascinating. It's been an absolutely incredible journey for me just to see the difference between lifestyle here, overall lifestyle, but also business culture, and just to have this experience of living in a whole new part of the world has been fascinating. And I think other people are also interested. I remember the first reel that I did that went viral. And that was a strange feeling. And in that reel I was talking about, I really spoke to a certain demographic. So I've mentioned I was 30, I moved from the UK to Thailand, I wasn't in a relationship. In that reel I was speaking to a very select group of people, and I think people were resonating with that. So, I'm also 30. Oh, I'm also not in a relationship. I'm also not particularly happy in the UK or the USA. And that reel, I think that was my first reel that got over 1 million views.
Okay.
And I remember I was at an airport because I was on the way to Japan.
Okay.
And my phone was just going crazy. And it was just this feeling of like, there's other people out there that are in a similar situation to me, and you feel understood. And it's a nice feeling. And I think that was the moment where I was like, I'm going to do this more.
How many followers do you have on Instagram?
Instagram is, I think it's around 50,000 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Similar on TikTok. So I'd say there's obviously overlap, but I would say in total around 100,000.
And how often do you publish the content?
One a day. I just do one post.
Okay,
a day.
so every day.
Yes, every day.
I see.
Every day.
I see.
Yeah.
That's good.
When I moved to Thailand, I ended up falling into a group of people who created content. Now, before this point, I didn't even have an Instagram account really, not even as a creator, but as a consumer. Like I wasn't a social media user.
So you felt in the right group of content creator.
I was in the right group. I mean, that's all it was. And
Okay.
I just felt like the loser of the group because they would get invites to parties and I was always the pity card. Like, we need to get Alex a ticket, right?
Okay.
And I didn't like that. So I thought, I'll do this. And it also, actually, there was a lot of overlap in social media with what I'd done previously, which was corporate finance.
Okay.
And I know that sounds very weird, but hear me out. A big part of my job in corporate finance was finding businesses that we needed to sell and finding buyers for those businesses.
Right.
That means creating relationships out of nothing. And oftentimes that's a phone call or an email. And you've got 10 seconds to get somebody's attention and get them to know, like, and trust you, right? So I kind of understood the basics of copywriting and capturing attention within a short space of time and retaining it. I'd sent so many emails to business owners who no doubt had a million other emails coming in as well.
Yes.
So you had to learn the skill of how can I get somebody to read that line and then the next line and then the next line.
Right.
That is basically social media, and especially short form. This is all from me just doing silly things on an iPhone. Right. You put it out there and you never know what's going to happen.
Hey, congratulations, came a long way. Yeah, I think Thailand offers, lower cost of living.
Yeah.
People are friendly.
Yes.
And I think it creates an environment where it attracts a lot of talent, especially digital nomads.
Yes. I agree with all that, as well as great infrastructure.
Yep.
Big airports, big major airports, you can travel around easily. But one of the things I like to try and push forward with my content is fighting back against the stereotype of Thailand that I don't actually think exists or that I don't think is accurate anymore. So I think there is still this stereotype of Thailand and Bangkok being this kind of party place where crazy things happen. And if you live here, you're up to all kinds of crazy things. But actually, I think there's a very strong, serious undercurrent in this city and in this country of professional, exceptional entrepreneurs. People who don't come here for the craziness.
I would think Bangkok is like a city where big foreign or tech company would like to enter.
Yeah.
If we look at bigger Southeast Asian countries like Indonesia, Vietnam, or the Philippines, it's harder to conquer those markets.
Yeah.
But whereas in Thailand, if you conquer Bangkok, you pretty much conquer,
Right.
80-90% of the business
Right.
in the country. So I believe that Bangkok is a cohesive place to start a business.
I agree.
In AnyMind, we've had a number of overseas clients or brands that have asked us to start the business from zero from them. One thing I want to highlight recently is we launched a service called AnyLive. So what AnyLive is a AI-driven live streaming. Normally, you have MCs that live for about each session 2 to 3 hours.
And an MC is somebody who's just on camera talking about the product.
Right, someone who is a very good seller online.
Yeah.
Like there's difference between content creator and seller, right?
Okay.
A good live seller is someone like, let's say, on direct home shopping.
Right.
Someone that can talk a lot, that can sell a lot, right?
Yeah.
A content creator is different, right?
Yeah.
You agree with me?
Yeah, I'm smiling. I don't know if you saw, there was a woman in China who did something like 9 million revenue in a week. Did you see the video? And she was incredibly efficient.
Yes.
Like, she was picking things up, talking about throwing it away.
Yes,
and she
correct.
just
I've seen that video.
Yeah.
For an MC to live 2 or 3 hours is very tiring already.
Right.
So we brought in a solution that we can create an avatar of a live seller, and we can turn the avatar on, and you can sell 24 hours.
Is this, if I saw this, would I think it was real, or is it
It look exactly like the real person.
scary?
It's essentially deepfake.
That's scary.
It is scary.
Yeah.
But we tell our clients or brand
Yeah.
to put like an AI logo, so
Okay.
people know this is AI.
Okay.
Yeah, but the whole purpose of doing so,
Yeah.
because sometimes you have some workers that get out of their job at midnight,
Yeah.
and there's no one to take care of them, from midnight until like 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
So we have this. You can buy product during those time, and you have someone to take care.
Yeah.
Someone, quote unquote, AI,
Yeah.
to take care of that person.
Yeah.
So this is why we bring this solution in, and
fascinating.
then we started to apply to some of our clients here already.
'Cause I was going to bring this up to you, but I was going to say that we don't do so much live selling in the West versus it's a big thing in China.
Yes.
But you've taken it one step further. Not only are we behind in, you're already implementing fake people. We're not even got to real people yet in the West. What is it about the live selling specifically versus a content creator who makes a reel? Like, how does the conversion compare between those two formats?
So I would say, like, people that join the live session, right?
Yeah.
Usually people have an intent to buy already.
Right.
I don't think they go there and just watch or home shopping and say, oh, this is entertaining for me, right? They have an intent to buy, right?
Right.
So, but the fact that there is an avatar there
Yeah.
to listen to you, if you type
Got it.
if you type free shipping,
Yeah.
the avatar will start talking about free shipping.
Wow.
You type promotion in the chat box, it's talking about promotion.
I would imagine the next stage, if we're not already there, is for this AI avatar to be customized depending on whoever they're speaking to. Right. So if I'm a consumer of this media and I'm speaking, now I'm getting a different AI experience compared to the other person who's got different questions. That's insane. That's crazy.
I'm pretty sure it's in the pipeline already.
That's wild.
Yeah. But yeah, we brought in this solution called AnyLive, and then we advise brand like, okay, not only you can do with a real person,
Yeah.
you can also do with the AI.
Yeah.
We're not trying to replace one another,
Yeah.
but this is the best optimal solution to combine the two.
Yeah. Wow. Incredible.
Yeah.
Do you see any other trends with AI? Is there anything else that you're focusing on from an AI perspective?
I think there's more and more data point, right? It's gonna involve what do you do with those data point. So I think for me, with more data point and brands wanting conversion, so I think brand will do whatever they can to take advantage of the data points.
Yeah.
To drive more conversion. Predicted demand, real-time demand.
Yeah.
These data are already available on big major platform.
Yeah.
So even our platform AnyX,
Yeah.
we are our tech team is developing real-time pricing.
Yeah.
So we would analyze different product and different SKU in a similar category, and then we would kind of help predict the price and promotion.
Right.
So our tech team working on that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, final question for you then, because you're the MD of this very incredible business, fast-paced, everything's changing. What's the biggest challenges for you as the MD of AnyMind? Like, what kind of challenges do you face every day?
Actually, for me, I can't do everything alone.
Yeah.
Right. In MD, and we have, almost 500 employees working for us. Just in Bangkok office alone. In the Philippines, we've got another 150. So I think what's really important to me is what message do I tell my team? Make sure that message is carried all the way from the top to the bottom.
Right.
Right. And it's also trying to mentor my direct report so they can mentor their team to achieve the maximum potential.
Right.
So for me, I have to get the most out of my team, and at the same time grow the top line of the business. You know, the way I manage a team is also try to inject some creative thinking in their mind, and inject some entrepreneurial spirit in them. Because once again, I can't do it alone. I'm only here because I have a strong team. And we believe in a similar vision, and that's why we're able to scale, you know, in all the respective markets that we operate in.
Got it. And so, is there any overarching goal, KPI that you want to achieve in the next year, 5 years, maybe?
I'm just trying to survive this year. we have a really aggressive target this year. So I'm trying to keep the positive momentum going. So like last year we did really well in the group. So Thailand, we won the best market award out of 15 markets.
Wow.
So it's a steep hill to climb. You know, I have full faith in my team. And we're here to do great things together.
Well, I think it's a very exciting market, a very exciting place to be in the world right now, and I'm confident that you're gonna get to where you need to be. And this has been really insightful, and I've really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Alex. Appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
Okay, Alex, shall we take a photo together?
Let's do it.
All right.
Don't just listen, be a part of the conversation. Join our podcast and let's grow together. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and comment. See you in the next episode.